Once upon a time, on the north shore of Long Island, some 30 miles from New York, there lived a small girl on a large estate.
And so begins Sabrina, the story of a chauffeur's daughter, hopelessly in love with the dashing son of the wealthy family they serve, who is sent away to Paris, only to return with a newfound radiance that transforms the lives of all those around her.
Taxi, miss. Cheapest rates in Glen Cove.
Well, hello, how are you?
Well, I'm fine. How are you? And I might add, who are you?
Who am I?
Am I supposed to know?
Come to think of it, no, you're not supposed to know.
This lush romantic comedy from Academy Award-winning director Billy Wilder, featuring Oscar winners Humphrey Bogart and William Holden, captivated audiences and critics alike and secured the legend of its Cinderella-like star, Audrey Hepburn.
Sabrina came along, and we here at Paramount, we were so excited. My gosh, we had Humphrey Bogart, Audrey Hepburn, William Holden, and Billy Wilder in the same package. And I've never seen Audrey Hepburn more excited than she read the script on Sabrina, because she just knew that this picture was so important in her career.
Sabrina was only Hepburn's second Hollywood film, but after her stunning debut in Roman Holiday, Paramount was eager to capitalize on her skyrocketing popularity.
I would like to say how very, very grateful I am for this beautiful award, and how grateful I am to those who enabled me to receive it.
Sabrina actually began its screen life as a play called Sabrina Fair, but while the production was being mounted for the stage, Paramount realized that this was the perfect vehicle for their newfound star and quickly secured the rights.
New egg. 1, 2, 3, crack! Take an egg, crack! The wrist, Like a whip, you watch. 1, 2, 3, crack!
To direct this motion picture, Paramount assigned Billy Wilder, who had earned much-deserved acclaim in Hollywood with such feature films as Stalag 17 and Sunset Boulevard.
Billy Wilder had that great ability to include in every scene drama, humor. He knew how to put that film right.
Although it had been a number of years since Wilder directed a comedy, Sabrina touched off a streak of comedic successes for him. In fact, in Sabrina, Wilder sets up what would become his next film project when he has Linus Larrabee outline his upcoming Broadway date with Sabrina by telling his secretary,
I want 2 tickets to the 7-Year Itch.
And even with 2 of Hollywood's best-known actors at her side, the heart and soul of Sabrina is Audrey Hepburn.
David, I don't believe I know this young lady.
Oh, yes, you do.
Good evening, Mrs. Larrabee.
Mother, this is Miss Fairchild.
Sabrina?
Yes, of course. You didn't recognize me, did you? Have I changed? Have I really changed?
You certainly have.
Audrey Hepburn was a very unique person, and certainly one of the most darling ladies I ever knew on this lot.
Her charming and elf-like grace was a quality that made the role of Sabrina a perfect fit, both in her mind and in the eye of director Billy Wilder.
Oh, Sabrina, Sabrina, where have you been all my life?
Right over the garage.
Right over my car. Right up in that tree. What a fool I was.
What a crush I had on you.
First cast opposite Hepburn was William Holden as roguish David Larrabee, fresh off the set of his Academy Award-winning performance in Stalag 17.
Bill loved playing this playboy part because he had fun with it.
Cary Grant was brought in next as Linus, David's stuffed shirt older brother. But Grant suddenly dropped out just 1 week before filming was to begin, and Wilder, in need of a strong leading man older than Holden, approached screen legend Humphrey Bogart.
Bogey, who had been always playing the tough, rough gangster sort of roles, was equally excited about doing Sabrina because here he was playing a part of a stuffy, business-oriented man. All he thought about was his business affairs and what was happening, and then he had this younger brother, William Holden, who was a playboy.
Morning, Linus. Where are you off to?
The office, what do you think?
The office? On Sunday?
Today is Wednesday.
Wednesday?
I'd go out to Warner's sometime to visit my friend Jimmy Cagney, and if Bogey was working, I'd go over and watch him because he just made it look so easy.
Inter-office memo, Linus Larrabee to David Larrabee. Dear David, this is to remind you that you are a junior partner of Larrabee Industries. Our building is located at 30 Broad Street, New York City. Your office is on the 22nd floor. Our normal week is Monday through Friday. Our working day is 9 to 5. Should you find this inconvenient, you are free to retire under the Larrabee pension plan. Having been with us 1 year, this will entitle you to 65 cents a month for the rest of your life.
Bogey had this wonderful sense of humor. And he looked over at Holden, and he said, that William Holden, take a look at him. He said, you know, if I were as handsome as Bill Holden, I would not have any doubts as to why Bacall married me.
Wilder rounded out his cast with a polished crew of supporting players, including Walter Hamden as the head of the Larrabee clan, John Williams II as Sabrina's chauffeur father, Francis X. Bushman, Ellen Corby, and as the soon-to-be jilted fiancée of David Larrabee, accomplished character actress Martha Heyer.
Martha Heyer and I were buddies. When I first knew her was a brunette, she was on the contract to RKO. And then Grace Kelly came out with the blonde, and Martha Heyer, I think because of Grace Kelly, decided to go blonde. Her whole career changed.
Content that he had secured his dream cast, Wilder brought in the play's original writer, Samuel Taylor, to collaborate with him on the screenplay. But Taylor found his work with Wilder too taxing. So Wilder teamed up with screenwriter Ernest Lehman.
Linus, will you do me a favor?
Anytime.
I know how these things bore you, but would you mind keeping an eye on Sabrina for me?
Oh, I've already thought of that. As a matter of fact, I'm taking her sailing this afternoon.
Sailing?
Uh-huh, in your boat.
Honest?
Huh?
Oh, Sabrina.
Production took place over the course of 7 weeks in October and November of 1953, with a budget of slightly more than $2 million, using the Long Island mansion of Paramount's then-president Barney Balaban and the sumptuous swimming pool of CBS founder Bill Paley for location work in New York. Once those exterior scenes were completed, the cast and crew moved to the Paramount lot in Hollywood.
As a child, I used to watch you from the window over the garage, coming and going, always wearing your black Homburg and carrying a briefcase and an umbrella. I thought you could never belong to anyone.
Getting the script together was a monumental task for Wilder and Lehman. Filming had already begun, and yet the script was still being written.
Billy Wilder, as much as anybody I know, said, I don't write, I rewrite.
Often, as shots were being set up, Wilder and Lehman could be found in their office working on the story. It's been written that one day Wilder had asked Hepburn to feign an illness on the set so he would have enough time to complete writing the scene that was about to be filmed.
Audrey told me a funny story once. She said, I had to play sick the other day, and I said, you had to play sick? What was that? She said, well, Billy needed some more time to work on this script.
It was shortly after the completion of Sabrina that Hepburn found real romance. Prior to Sabrina's production, Gregory Peck introduced Audrey to his good friend, actor and producer Mel Ferrer. During the filming of Sabrina, Mel offered Audrey the lead in his new stage hit Ondine, which she accepted. Once the play's run had concluded, and Audrey had won the Tony Award for her role, she and Ferrer married.
Hello, I am Audrey Hepburn. Ondine is a very beautiful love story in which Mel Ferrer and I appear together. Mel plays the knight-errant, and I play a water sprite. It's a very gay part.
Audrey knew that the true arc of her character hinged upon her dazzling transformation from waifish to wonderful. And while famed Paramount costume designer Edith Head created the simple and lovely clothes for Audrey prior to her Paris stay, Hepburn asked a rising young designer named Hubert Givenchy to consider making her post-Paris outfits. Even though the designer was surprised to discover that the Miss Hepburn waiting to see him wasn't Catherine, their collaboration on Sabrina was the beginning of an enduring friendship that crystallized her image as a fashion icon and made her a permanent fixture atop the best-dressed list.
One of the things I remember about Sabrina and Edith Head was the outfit that Audrey Hepburn wore when she was up in the tree looking down at all of the party scenes. And Edith was very right. She didn't want to make her look glamorous because that was to be later in the picture, but she wanted her to be attractive.
I never can remember that garage girl's name.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. What right has a chauffeur got to call his daughter Sabrina?
What would you suggest? Ethel?
The premiere of Sabrina was a full-tilt Hollywood extravaganza, and the subsequent box office success was glorious.
You won't be annoyed if I cry at the boat, will you, Sabrina?
I'll be disappointed if you don't, Father.
I'd feel so much better if only you'd be angry with me for allowing all this to happen.
It wasn't your fault, Father. It was mine.
Sabrina earned 6 Oscar nominations, including 1 for Audrey Hepburn's performance, 2 for Billy Wilder, 1 for his screenplay, and 1 for his direction, plus nominations for art direction, cinematography, and for Edith Head's costumes.
Maybe you got smart, Linus. Or maybe you just got lucky, because you're here and she's out there. Brother, she would have taken you for plenty. I was just helping you make up your mind. You are in love with her.
And so our Cinderella story is complete, with a charming waif-like heroine blossoming into a regal young beauty and a cinematic legend that continues to shine.